New tonight, the effort to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom picking up steam. Two Republican politicians now formally pushing to replace the Democratic governor as recall organizers inch closer to the number of signatures needed to qualify the recall proposal for the ballot this year. Newsom's popularity has tumbled in recent months, thanks in large part to strict statewide coronavirus restrictions. Recall organizers need to secure those 1.5 million signatures by March 15th. They say they have 1.4 million already, but that number has not been verified by election officials. Joining us tonight on NewsNation is one of the two candidates hoping to replace Governor Newsom, Kevin Faulconer, former San Diego mayor. Sir, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Well, you have your work cut out for you in a potential recall in California. President Biden won your state 63.5%. Republicans have no statewide office holders, and Newsom won in 2018 with 61%. So, sir, with those numbers, critics say that this effort may be a waste of time. What do you say?
Oh, I think Californians are ready for a California comeback. And the fact of, as you just rightfully pointed out, over 1.4 million signatures collected. I think there's no doubt that that 1.5 million threshold will be gathered. And look, I'm a proud Republican who won in a majority Democrat city in San Diego, whose registration actually mirrors that of California. And my style as mayor has always been, let's bring folks together to focus on results and common sense. And when you do that, I think people are less concerned if you have an R or a D next to your name. It's about leadership, not partisanship.
Well, and right now, I mean, I don't have to tell you that people, not just in your state, but across the country, are struggling. So some would argue that this recall would further complicate a challenging situation in the midst of a pandemic. So why now? Why not wait until his term is up in 2022?
Oh, I think there's a real sense of urgency, and particularly with, the shifting regulations, opened and closed. That's been, unfortunately, the reality in California, and a lot of it not based on science. And I've been pretty outspoken about that. The fact that the governor shut down outdoor dining with absolutely no science behind any transmission occurring in an outdoor dining situation. The fact when the governor came out several months back and shut down outdoor playgrounds for families and kids, again, with no science behind it. And I think when you see Californians who all have the same goal, which is get through this together, and yet, and I talked a lot about this last week, the fact that our public schools are still not open in California, yet private schools are. There is a real sense of urgency for change now, this year, not next year. So
obviously you're unhappy with the job being done. What would you be doing differently if you were governor? And is there a governor across the country who you think is doing a good job?
Well, like my style of leadership as I was mayor of San Diego for 2 terms was as a problem solver. As somebody who gets people together, Democrats and Republicans, but focuses on results. And I think the problem that we've seen in California is we haven't had a lot of results. I'm proud of how we accomplished not only public safety, the only big city in California that reduced homelessness by double digits across our city. And so I think what has been missing, and I think that one-party rule has not been working for our state. It's time for a competition of ideas, and it's time for somebody who has successfully managed, a major American city who knows how to get results.
Well, my question is, what would you be doing, though, differently than Governor Newsom is doing during the pandemic to address the current situation in that state?
Well, I think when it comes to the pandemic, you have to have it based on science. And the fact of the matter is, when it comes to so many things that have happened in California, as I said, there wasn't science behind it. And I think that's where you see the frustration. The fact that when the governor and the administration came out and didn't have transparency, when members of the media and the public have said, show me the information behind some of these decisions are being made that you're saying is based on science, and they wouldn't release those numbers. They said it's too complicated. It's too complicated for members of the media and the public to understand. I think that's the wrong approach, and I would take a dramatically different approach.
John Cox, a Republican also looking to run against Gavin Newsom, released an ad today. I'm sure you've seen it. It is attacking you. I'd like to play a small portion of that ad and give you a chance tonight to respond.
San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer got the city to overpay for a high-rise riddled with asbestos. The deal enriched a big campaign donor. Gavin Newsom said stay home, then dined with lobbyists at a restaurant where the wine tab was $12,000.
What is your message tonight to Californians?
I'm not too focused on what John Cox is saying. Look, my message on California is it's time to have a governor that knows how to govern. It's time to have somebody who has the executive experiences I've had in San Diego on bringing people together, Republicans, Democrats, and independents. And when we focus on results, as I said before, I think California is ready for a California comeback, and there's a real sense of urgency to do it this year.
Well, Kevin Faulconer, we will certainly be following this very closely. We appreciate your time tonight on NewsNation. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
And by the way, for you guys at home, the last time there was a recall election in California, that was back in 2003. Voters replaced Democratic Governor Gray Davis with Republican Arnold Schwarzenegger.